Welcome back to An Orange Future, the Quest for Financial Freedom podcast, where I share my theory on why I believe everyone should have some exposure to Bitcoin, or at least learn about it. In the last two episodes, I covered my take on what Bitcoin is and why I believe Bitcoin is the solution to the fiat currency problem. In today's episode, I want to discuss the word HODL. It's been around in space for quite some time, but it is very significant. So, what the heck is HODL? Before I carry on, I have to read out the following disclaimer. Please note, the following content should not be taken as financial advice. It is purely for educational purposes only, based on thousands of hours of research and opinions from some very clever minds and experienced, successful people in the Bitcoin space. The aim is to help you achieve the necessary knowledge and show you where to find useful and up-to-date information, which will enable you to do your own research and then use this knowledge to help you get off zero and then go on and become a successful Bitcoin. The warning sign is to emphasize that if you do end up going down the Bitcoin rabbit hole, it may possibly change the way you see money from this point onwards and make you question your government's irresistible urge to continue to print money, which in turn goes on and gets added to an unsustainable debt pile. And you may even get the reality check that most Bitcoiners come to, that the current fiat system is fundamentally flawed. Some might even say rigged or broken. So where does the term come from? In the Bitcoin space, which means holding Bitcoin for the long term rather than selling during any volatile periods or market downturn. This type of investor is now known as a hodler. It is documented that it originated from a Bitcoin forum post where a user misspelled the word hold as hodl. So what started out as a typo, then becoming a meme, which later became an acronym for hold on for dear life. HODL. So the misspelling resonated with the whole Bitcoin community and it spread wildly and remains a steadfast strategy. Longer term, HODLers confirm their high level conviction in never selling their Bitcoin than trading or trying to time the market. Why should you HODL? In Bitcoin's short history since 2009, there has never been a Bitcoiner that has safely held Bitcoin. Emphasis on safely, meaning held in self-custody, for a period of 4 years that has not seen the value of their Bitcoin holdings go up. Although global adoption is happening at a high level, it is still fairly misunderstood new asset class. In my opinion, probably around 99% of the world still not fully understanding it. So how long should you HODL? Bitcoin, with its slowly growing mainstream acceptance with big asset fund managers such as BlackRock and Fidelity, along with the emergence of Bitcoin treasury companies, the outlook is very bullish in the long term. Although in the short term, volatility is still very prevalent. With scarcity increased through the 4-year cycles, and which include a halving event where the amount of Bitcoin that can be mined via Bitcoin mining farms is halved, as well as strong institutional buying, it is thought the historical pullbacks and market drawdowns will not be as significant as previous cycles. General supply and demand metrics will tell you that the pullbacks haven't seen the 60 to 80% drawdowns that we have endured in past cycles. So how long should you HODL? Although nobody enjoys seeing their portfolio shrink in choppy trading markets, those with strong conviction will see these pullbacks and drawdowns as an opportunity to accumulate more Bitcoin. With it going on sale, this is also known as buying the dip. These high conviction hodlers are also described as diamond hands, as opposed to paper hands or lettuce hands, which is those that buckle or sell when the sentiment or market is down. So short term, I would say 3 to 5 years. Medium term, 5 to 10 years. Long term, 10 to 20 years. It sounds a very long time, but when you think of someone's 40-year working career, 10 to 20 years would only be a portion of that. And if it's something where you've got a scarce asset, then why would you not want to try and accumulate as much of it as possible? It's got a strong likelihood that it's going to go up and increase forever. So Bitcoin holders that can weather these volatile periods without the urge to be persuaded by an index, which is called the Fear and Greed Index. It's a measure of market sentiment dial, which will range depending on where the market is at that particular time. It can be neutral, or it can be in the red where is extreme fear, or it can swing round when you're in a bullish market to extreme greed. What you tend to find is when the market is in extreme greed, that is when everyone starts to FOMO in. When it swaps to extreme fear and severe downturns or market pullbacks or macro events, you get this extreme fear reading, which that often is the best time to buy. So a summary of hodling. There is no doubt when checking historical Bitcoin prices and data, it is a checkable fact that hodling Bitcoin with a long-term view and Bitcoin's CAGR, which means compound annual growth rate, it will outperform most other assets. Even if the predicted future diminishing returns are half of the previous few years, there are still not many assets that will come close to this level of performance. As all financial advisor statements would say, past performance is no guarantee of future returns. But in this ever-changing digital world and increasing global adoption, both retail and institutional, the signals are very good. We see a very big problem in the form of fiat currency. And this moment in time, Bitcoin could be a true solution and most certainly an exit strategy of some kind. So my top 3 reasons to be a hodler. Being a hodler as opposed to a trader has multiple benefits, such as avoiding having to time and study the markets for entry and exit points. You just purely save in Bitcoin, or stack sats as we like to call it. Trading Bitcoin will create a tax event, which any capital gains will need to be declared at whichever rate, depending on your jurisdiction. Here in the UK, we currently have £1,000 capital gain allowance. Anything above that amount is taxable. I believe it's between 18 and 24%. Unrealized gains in most areas at this time are not taxable. So number 3, as Bitcoin matures, you can borrow against your Bitcoin. As long as you can give Bitcoin a longer time horizon, ideally multiple years as opposed to months, Bitcoin, the scarce digital asset, classed as pristine collateral. There are already lending establishments that will lend against your Bitcoin. You put it up as collateral and they will give you a loan against it. So effectively, it's borrowing against your Bitcoin, which does not create a taxable event. It is thought this will be a growing industry with more players offering more competitive rates as the space evolves. Moving on to Bitcoin recent events. Bitcoin cycles have consistently spun out over 4-year period, which has normally coincided with the Bitcoin halving event as well as increased M2 global money supply. This cycle has definitely seen some landmark events. We have seen institutional investment in the form of Bitcoin spot ETFs. We've also have a more pro-crypto administration in the United States, which came into power with a very strong team of known Bitcoiners, as well as a very bullish President Trump, along with his family. Talk of a Bitcoin strategic reserve, not just in the United States. Globally, there are many countries supposedly looking at this. And also the rise of Bitcoin treasury companies. It's continually growing. This is where a company decides to hold Bitcoin on their balance sheet. So I would like to say thank you for taking the time to watch an Orange Future podcast. I do very much appreciate and value each and everyone's time. Time is finite, like Bitcoin, and always should be valued as such. If you have enjoyed the content and would like me to take you on a Bitcoin journey and hopefully inspire you and others to become Bitcoiners in some shape or form, all I would ask is that you kindly hit the like and subscribe buttons on the channel. I will be truly grateful, and it will help me immensely to grow the channel. My membership site, which is for anyone discovering and learning about Bitcoin and building a platform where you can join like-minded community of Bitcoiners and financial freedom seekers. On this platform, you will have access to easy to follow getting started in Bitcoin courses, and we'll share best platforms, practices, and I will be uploading all the slide decks from all the podcasts, as well as hosting regular Zoom meetups for Q&A sessions, or to just hang out with Bitcoiners when it hits all-time high. Membership will be very reasonably priced at £5.50 per month plus VAT for early adopters. Thank you.